Introduction. My name is Wendy. I was 24 years old when my story began. I lived a simple life. Every day, I worked at a small cafe near the bus station. My job was to serve coffee and smile at customers. My life was quiet, but I had big dreams. I wanted to have my own home. Most of all, I wanted to find love and build a family. I wished for a kind man who would always be by my side. I believed in true love. I never thought danger could come to me, especially not with a friendly smile. One rainy evening, a new customer walked into the cafe. His name was Kevin. He was tall and looked strong. He had brown eyes that seemed very soft and gentle. He wore a jacket like a truck driver. When he spoke, his voice was calm. He asked for coffee, then he asked for my name. I felt a little shy, but also happy. No man had ever asked my name like that before. It felt special. From that first night, Kevin started coming to the cafe very often. He came almost every day. He would sit at the same table and order coffee. We talked for a long time. He told me about his life as a truck driver and the different places he visited. I told him about my simple life and my dreams. We shared many laughs. I felt very happy when he was there. I started to think that meeting Kevin was more than just a chance. It felt like fate. I truly believed that this was the beginning of a special love. I thought he was the man I had always hoped for. Our relationship grew quickly. I felt safe and truly happy when I was with him. I was sure that he was the one for me, my true love. 2. A fast wedding. Kevin and I started to spend much time together. Every evening after I finished work, he came to the cafe. We talked for many hours. He told me about his life as a truck driver. He drove long roads, and he spent many nights alone. He often said that I made him feel very happy. He told me that I was like a bright light in his life. I believed his every word. His words felt warm and good, like a comforting fire on a cold day. I truly thought our love was growing strong very quickly. I felt incredibly happy with him. Our time together felt like a beautiful dream. Our relationship moved forward at a very fast pace. We had only known each other for a very short time, just a few weeks, but it felt like much longer. After only 3 months of meeting for the first time, Kevin asked me a very important question. One evening, he gently took my hands in his. He looked deeply into my eyes, and his voice was soft. He then asked me to marry him. My closest friends heard the news about our plans. They told me that it was happening too quickly. They said I should wait much longer before making such a big decision. They advised me to think very carefully about everything, but I did not listen to their warnings. I did not care what they said because I was deeply in love. I truly wanted to be with Kevin forever. I wanted to become his wife more than anything. When he asked me to marry him, he made a very special promise. He said, I will take care of you. You will never need to worry about anything again. This promise was extremely important to me. I had always dreamed of someone who would protect me. I wanted a man who would always be there for me, a man who would make me feel safe and secure. So, without any doubt, I said yes to his proposal. I was so excited to start a brand new life with him by my side. We planned our wedding very quickly, within just a few weeks. It was a small and very simple wedding. We did not have a big party with many guests. I did not wear a big, expensive white dress. There were also no many flowers or decorations. It was just a quiet, private ceremony only for us. We stood together and we promised to be husband and wife forever. At that moment, I truly believed it was real love. I thought this was the perfect start of a wonderful future together. I felt sure that Kevin was the right man for me. I believed he would always keep his promise to protect me and care for me always. I was very excited for our new life to begin as a married couple. 3. He starts to change. The first weeks of our marriage were very happy. Every morning, Kevin woke me with a gentle kiss on my forehead. He often brought me little gifts when he came back from his long truck trips. They were small things, like a pretty stone or a sweet candy, but they made me feel special. He always smiled and told me he loved me very much. I believed our life together would be wonderful, just as I had dreamed. One day, Kevin said something new. He looked at me with serious eyes. "Wendy," he said, "you do not need to work anymore. You do not have to serve coffee to other men in that busy cafe. You are my wife now, and I want to take care of you." I felt a little surprised. I had always worked. But his words also felt warm. It seemed like he truly cared for me. I thought his wish for me to stay home was a sign of his deep love. I believed he wanted to protect me from the world. So I quit my job at the cafe. I said goodbye to my friends there. My new life started at home. I cleaned our small house. I cooked food for Kevin. I waited for him to come back from work each day. I thought about him all day. I wanted to make our home a happy place. For a while, everything felt good and safe. I liked being his wife and taking care of our home. But slowly, things began to change. It was not a fast change, but a slow one, like the sun going down each evening. Kevin started to come home later and later. Sometimes he was angry, but I did not know why. He would walk in and his face was hard. He did not smile as much. If I asked him, "Is something wrong, Kevin?" he would answer in a short voice. He would say, "Do not ask too many questions, Wendy. Do not push me." His words felt cold, not like before. The man I married, the one who was so kind and gentle, seemed to be hiding. His good behavior started to disappear like smoke in the wind. The sweet husband I knew was slowly changing into someone else. I felt confused. I did not understand why he was angry. I missed his soft eyes and his warm smile. The happy beginning of our marriage was now turning into something different, something I did not expect at all. 4. His jealousy. Kevin started to show strong jealousy. He did not want me to see my friends anymore. He did not like me talking on the phone to anyone. He said a wife should not talk too much to strangers. He told me to stay with him always, inside our home. At first, I thought he was just strict. I thought he loved me very much and wanted to protect me from the world. But then his rules became stronger and stronger every day. There were new rules all the time. If I chose to wear a dress, he said it was too short. He did not like the way I dressed for anything. If I smiled at a neighbor from our window, he became very angry. He said I was not faithful to him. He accused me of doing bad things, even when I did nothing wrong. His jealousy felt like a prison around me. I started to feel very alone inside my own house. I could not go out freely. I could not talk to people like before. My home, which should be a safe place for me, felt like a cage. I asked Kevin, "Why do you not trust me?" He did not answer me calmly. He only shouted loudly. He said, "Because you are mine." His words made me feel very small and scared. The man I married was changing too much. The happy love story I dreamed about was becoming dark and sad. It was not the life I wanted at all. I felt trapped and very unhappy. My hope for a happy family life was slowly disappearing. I missed my old life, even the simple one I had before. I missed my friends and my freedom. Every day was the same. I waited for him to come home. I tried to make him happy, but nothing I did seemed to be right for him. His eyes watched me all the time. He watched what I did, what I said, and what I wore. I felt like I was always being tested. I was always afraid of making a mistake that would make him angry. The man who promised to protect me was now hurting me with his control. His love felt like a heavy weight on my shoulders. It was not gentle or kind anymore. It was cold and very controlling. I started to lose myself. I did not know who I was anymore. I was just Kevin's wife, living by his rules. This was not the future I imagined. This was not the love I dreamed of having. The days felt long and empty. My laughter was gone. My smile was gone. Only fear and sadness stayed with me in the house. I felt very far from the world outside. I was alone with his anger and his endless rules. 5. Finding his secrets. One night, Kevin came home very late. He was drunk, his eyes were red. He did not look at me. He walked to the kitchen table and threw his wallet down. It made a loud noise. My heart jumped. The wallet opened and I saw something inside. It was a photo. My eyes looked closer. It was a picture of a woman. She was smiling. She was not me. My breath stopped. I felt cold. Who was this woman? Why was her photo in Kevin's wallet? He had never shown me a picture like this. He never talked about another woman. My mind raced. Was he with someone else? This thought made me sick. I picked up the wallet slowly. My hand shook a little. "Who is she?" I asked him. My voice was very quiet. Kevin turned to me. He looked at the photo, then at me. He gave a cold laugh. It was not a happy sound. "Don't touch my things," he said. His voice was hard. He took the wallet from my hand quickly. He put it deep into his pocket. For the first time since we met, I felt true fear of Kevin. The man who promised to protect me, the man I married, was hiding something big. He was not the person I thought he was. This was a secret, a very bad secret. After that night, I started to watch him more carefully. I saw new things. I heard new things. He started getting more late-night calls. He went to another room to talk quietly. Sometimes I smelled a different perfume on his shirts. It was not my perfume. It was a sweet, strange smell. Then I noticed money was missing from our drawer. Small amounts at first, then larger amounts. Where was this money going? Was it for another woman? Questions filled my head. The pieces of a puzzle began to fit together. Kevin was not just jealous and controlling. He was also dishonest. He had lied about everything. The good man from the cafe was not real. He was a lie. I understood he had been lying from the beginning. My dream of love was breaking. My husband was a stranger, full of dark secrets. My heart felt heavy with sadness. 6, our sad home. Wendy tried very hard to make things better. She cooked Kevin's favorite meals, like the warm stew he loved or a sweet cake for dessert. She waited for him with a warm smile, even when her heart was sad and tired. She wanted to talk to him, to fix the deep silence that grew between them every day. She asked him to sit down, to share his thoughts, to tell her what was truly wrong. But Kevin did not want to talk. He pushed her away, not with his hands, but with his cold words and his quietness. "You do not understand me," he often said, his eyes looking far away, not at her. He would turn away and walk into another room. "You do not love me like before," Wendy answered one night, her voice soft with hurt and a tear falling down her cheek. His silence was louder than any shout. It filled the small house, making it feel big and empty. The home that was once full of dreams and plans now felt cold, like a long winter night with no fire. Every day the sadness grew heavier, a weight on her shoulders. The happy sounds were gone. There was no laughter, no gentle talks, only the quiet sound of a broken heart. Kevin had made many promises when they married. He promised to take care of her always, to protect her from all worries, to make her life easy and safe. These promises were now like broken pieces of glass on the floor, sharp and painful. They hurt her every time she remembered them. She felt completely alone, even when Kevin was in the same room. He was not the kind man she had married, not the man from the small cafe who had looked at her with soft, brown eyes and made her feel special. That man was gone, replaced by a stranger she barely knew. Wendy often sat by the window, looking at the street outside, watching people walk by. She felt like a bird in a cage. The door of the cage was not locked, but she did not know how to fly out. Kevin's words, "You are mine," now felt like heavy chains around her body and her spirit. She had thought his jealousy was a strong sign of his love, but now she saw it was only a sign of his need for control. She saw the truth clearly, little by little, with each sad day that passed. This was not love. This was not a home. It was a place where her spirit was slowly dying. She was very unhappy, more unhappy each day that passed. She knew she could not live like this anymore. She realized she needed to make a big change to save her own life. She had to save herself from this sad, quiet life. The decision came slowly, like the sun rising after a long, dark night, bringing light to her mind. She looked at her reflection in the kitchen window one evening, tears on her face. Is this love? She asked herself, her voice a whisper. Or is this a cage that holds me tight? That night, she made her decision. It was a very hard decision, but she knew it was the only way to find her own freedom and happiness again. 7. I decide to leave. The decision to leave Kevin was very hard. My heart felt heavy. I remembered the first time I met him at the cafe. He was kind then, and his eyes were soft. He promised to protect me. But that man was gone now. The man who lived with me was different. He was often angry, full of jealousy, and he did not care about my feelings. He was cruel. I knew I could not stay in a home that felt like a cage. I had to save myself. I had to make this change for my own good. I thought about my small bag. What should I take with me? I packed only my most important clothes. I chose things that reminded me of myself, not of Kevin. I did not take many things. I knew I needed to start fresh with very little. I waited for the right moment. Kevin was a truck driver, and he often left for many days. This was my chance. I waited until he left for a long trip. My hands shook a little as I put my last items into the bag. The house was quiet, and I felt a strange mix of fear and hope. When Kevin was far away on the road, I walked out of the house. I did not leave a letter for him. I did not say goodbye. There was nothing more to say. The door closed behind me, and I took a deep breath. It was a big step, a step into the unknown. But it was also a step towards freedom. I felt a small bit of power return to me. I knew I was doing the right thing for myself. I needed a place to live, and I needed work. I looked for a small room. I found one not far from the old cafe where I used to work. It was a simple room, but it was mine. It felt safe. Then I went to look for a job. I found work again, serving coffee and smiling at customers. It was familiar, and it felt good to be busy. Each day I felt a little stronger. The sadness that had filled my home slowly started to lift. I was making my own choices again. I was earning my own money. I was not waiting for anyone. Slowly, I began to feel alive again. The heavy chains of fear and sadness began to disappear. I was free, ate my new life. Months went by. Life was different now. I lived in my small room and worked at the cafe again. Every day felt like a new beginning. Kevin tried to call me many times. My phone rang and rang, showing his name. But I never picked it up. I did not want to hear his voice. I did not want to hear his promises or his anger. I knew his words were not true. I had no place for his lies in my new life. I thought a lot about what happened. I thought about Kevin and me. I learned a very important lesson. True love is not about control. It is not about fear. Love should make you feel safe and happy, not trapped. If someone tries to control you, that is not love. If you are afraid, that is not love. This was a hard lesson, but it made me stronger. I understood that I needed to be free to be truly happy. I did not feel sad about my past anymore. The pain slowly left me. I remembered the bad times, but they did not hurt me like before. I remembered the good times too, at the beginning with Kevin. But I knew they were not real. They were like a dream that turned into a nightmare. Now I was awake. I was in the real world and it felt good. One evening after work, I walked near the cafe. The streetlights were on. I saw a young couple. They were holding hands tightly. They laughed loudly at something funny. They looked so happy, just like Kevin and I once did. A small smile came to my face. I did not feel any sadness or pain. I felt only peace. I felt light. I felt free. I realized that Kevin did not destroy me. He tried to, but he did not win. I found my own strength. I found it inside myself when I decided to leave. I found it when I started working again. I found it when I said no to his calls. I found it when I learned to trust myself. My name is Wendy. I loved someone. I lost that love. But more importantly, I learned a lot. I learned about myself. I learned what real love means. I learned that I am strong. I am free. This was my true happy ending. It was not with a man. It was with myself. I was happy with who I was, and that was enough. My new life was just starting, and it was good.